What's up, internet? My name's Ori. Welcome back to the channel. It is Friday, October 4th, day number 81 inside the Big Brother house. Who won HoH? Who are the nominees? Yes, nominees were last night, but all that matters is the veto. Let's talk about that, plus all the intel, drama, and more from yesterday's live feeds. But first, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. You like this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. We are here live on a Friday morning. Say hello to the chat. You can see them all up there. If you don't know how the Friday morning streams work, we do our normal update that you get every single day during the Big Brother season. But on Fridays, we go live, and afterwards, we jump into the chat. It's a lot of fun. Karan, might be Karan. I'm probably butchering your name. If you're new here, I butcher names. But also, when you hit that subscribe button, me and you, we now have a final two. Shh, it's a secret. Don't tell anybody. It's a secret alliance. But we now have a secret alliance. Don't let anybody in the chat tell you any different about any others. Me and you, we're going to the final two. Anyway, thank you for coming on in, hitting that sub button. So, to give you a little recap, you haven't been keeping up with what's been going on the live feeds. MJ won HoH coming out of the double eviction. She nominated Chemo and Rabina. MJ also won the power of veto, and despite like some thoughts with her and MJ that, you know, maybe they've been carrying Cam a little bit too far and maybe putting him up, she kept her nominations the same, and that led us into the eviction episode, which we saw last night. 2 hours long. First off, let me just say, it didn't need to be no 2 hours long. Like, yes, we also had the veto to go through. Like, we only saw the veto competition on the episode with the BB comics, since there was no Wednesday episode. Like, I understand the programming part of it, but man, was there a lot of filler that we did not need. Give us more of the jury, right? Give us more reactions and conversations about what they're thinking. Give us less of the filler, of a lot of which we already knew going into it. But despite that, I will say the episode did shock me a little bit. Going into the eviction episode, I still expected Rubina to be leaving after kind of the last minute flip that happened away from Chemo, where Cam was pushing for Chemo to actually stay this week and for Rubina to go. Chelsea seemed on board. MJ seemed on board. Even prior to the episode, Chelsea and MJ had kind of met up and talked about it. And while it still seemed like it was up in the air, it also felt like they were sticking to evicting Rubina at the end of the day. But to my surprise, and I'm sure many of you as well, during the downtime of the feeds before the episode, the vote flipped back. Chelsea and Cam both voted to evict Chemo during the episode. Otherwise, other noteworthy things from the episode, we're looking into the jury house, which again, I wish we had gotten more of. One thing that's tough too, it's nice to see the jury house, but for the most part, it's hard to get really a gauge on what they're truly thinking about, you know, the winner in the game. We're getting just these edited little talking points, you know, from them, the little conversations that they have there, which are really kind of soundbitey, almost like they're DR personalities, but in the group session. So it's hard to get like a really good idea, but for the most part, it seems like Chelsea, like we all probably expected, is the front runner of the jury right now. Most of them all seem to be thinking that if Chelsea gets to the final two, she should be the winner. The only one who seemed that was anti-Chelsea at the moment was Angela. She seemed like she was the most bitter of the jury members, and she would be somebody that maybe wouldn't vote for Chelsea if there was some other option there for her in the end. Other than that, the only other thing from the jury segment that I did find pretty interesting was how blown away Angela was by the fact that maybe Leah does have a thing for Quinn, and kind of how offended Quinn got by the idea that she thought it was so crazy. Like, why is it so crazy? This could happen. And then Leah actually admitting that it was a thing, and him being obviously shocked but happy to hear it. So I thought that was all kind of funny as well. Anyway, moving on from the episode, because again, otherwise there wasn't much of substance there. It really could have been easily an hour show. This is one of those episodes where the first half could have been an email, right? You could have just made an Instagram live story, right? Just put a post out about what happened in the first half of the episode, and then come to us when we're time to vote. We did also see like the family greetings, right? Like the videos from the loved ones at home, which that was nice too, I guess. But again, do we really need that on the 2-hour episode? Do we have to have it be 2 hours? It felt like we were kind of wasting our time a little bit. Anyway, moving to what happened on the feeds last night after the episode, when the feeds eventually came back.4 do we got coming on in here? Trey with the super chat. Have a weird feeling that Cam will knock out Mackenzie or Chelsea. Final 4 and 3. Ooh. Trey, that could be an interesting one. Thank you so much for the super chat. We'll get into some possible scenarios here in just a bit, but I do appreciate you coming on in with that. Where were we? Oh, so after the episode's feeds came back, we already had the HoH competition completed, and the winner was securing their spot in the final 3 as we update our board. Chelsea wins HoH, securing her spot not only in just the final 3 but in finale, right? She will be there at the end. Whether or not she will be one of the final 2, she will have to win the final 3 HoH or get taken there to get that, but she has gotten one step closer to the end. Not only that, and not that they matter much anyway, right? We also found out nominees last night because we didn't have a lot of time for Chelsea to even just kind of soak in her win. She had to make her decision. Like I said, it doesn't really matter anyway. It's all about the veto, right? Whoever wins the veto in the final 4, they decide pretty much who the final noms are and who that person is voting, whether Chelsea wins it herself and decides whether she wants to use it or not, or if one of the 3 other house guests who aren't the HoH win, they will be safe and they will cast the vote. So the nominees really this week don't matter. She still, though, met up with all 3 of them to discuss, what was happening. She told Cam, like, listen, we are still a final 2. Veto's all that matters. Nominations don't even matter. So I'm probably just going to put you up just to do it, right? It doesn't mean anything. You just got to win. You got to win that veto. Right. Otherwise, you're relying on MJ to keep you or Rubina to keep you. If I don't win it, I will obviously take you down. And you'll be able to use it. And, well, I don't actually think she said that to him. I don't scratch that other part. I don't know if she actually said that part to him. She does say that later, though. So after her conversation with Cam, she then met up with Rubina. Rubina asked, like, hey, I just want to break from the block. Like, I just don't want to go up. Chelsea told her that Cam was going to be going up, and it was just kind of between MJ and Rubina on versus who would end up being to one to go. And again, it doesn't really even matter anyway. But she does kind of say, like, yeah, I'm going to probably keep you off. And then she goes and has a conversation with MJ, who was not thrilled with the news. She wasn't exactly into the idea of going up and was acting quite stressed out, right? She was kind of like picking at her hands and stuff like that. The camera even like kind of zoomed in on it. She was not feeling it. But MJ said, like, listen, I'll go up as long as you promise to use that veto if you win it, which Chelsea does promise to use the veto. That's why, again, I don't remember if she actually said that to Cam. The part where she actually promised to use a veto was with MJ. Again, whether or not she holds true to that, I don't know. She might, if I was her, I'd probably just end up throwing it. Like, it really doesn't matter. Why would you have to make yourself make that decision? Let them fight it out. You have your safety. Don't even try and win veto if I was Chelsea. But she also does mention about the chemo flip, saying that before the vote, Chelsea and Cam did have a little bit of conversation where they were going back and forth on whether or not they should keep Rubina or chemo. And in the end, she got what she wanted. And funny enough, she said that Cam told her right before the HoH competition, well, see, you got what you wanted. So I don't know if that is maybe something that might cause a little tension there too. Maybe she will get rid of Cam. We'll have all women in the final 3. That was kind of a thing that keeps being brought up. Rubina and MJ are really kind of sticking to that as well. It seems like they're kind of thinking about getting rid of Cam now at this point if they keep if either one of them wins the veto. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. Again, it really comes down to who wins the veto. They decide everything. If Chelsea wins, she gets to pick whether or not her nominations stay the same, and then she lets Rubina pick, or if she uses it, that person will get to be the one to cast the sole vote. If any of the other three win it, they will be safe, and they will choose which one of the other two gets to come with them to the final three. That should all take place today, since on Sunday's episode, we're going to see the HoH, we're going to see the nominations, and we're going to see veto on Sunday. It seems like it's probably going to take place in that like competition space that they have, the extra area, because the backyard is still open. So we'll see when that all kind of goes down. As far as the schedule goes for the rest of the season, because we don't have many episodes left, there will be this Sunday's episode where, again, we'll see the HoH, we'll see the nomination ceremony, and then we'll also see the veto competition. We won't see the actual veto ceremony because that will pretty much just be an eviction. That will be on Thursday. Thursday will be the final eviction of the season. There's no Wednesday episodes anymore. We are done with those. We've got Survivor and what's the other one? The Summit. They've taken over the Wednesday spot. So we have Sunday's episode, then we have Thursday's episode, and then there will also be Friday's like Memory Lane episode where they kind of go over just things from the season. I believe on Thursday's episode, we're also going to have Jag, who's going to be talking about things that have happened during the season. So that's probably going to be a lot of filler before the final eviction. And then obviously we'll have Sunday will be our finale where we will find out who the winner of the season is. We'll have our final three. We'll have the final three HoH, which again, if you're kind of new to Big Brother, I always kind of forget that there are some people like, hey, this is their first season of Big Brother. The way final three HoH works, it's played in 3 parts. If you win the first part, you go automatically to the third part. The people who lose the first part, they then battle out in the second part. Whoever wins that battles the winner of part 1. In part 3, they then battle it out. Whoever wins that becomes the HoH, and they get to choose who sits next to them in the final chairs. They make that final decision on who comes with them. So it's going to be a fun ride as we go on through this. And yeah, I don't know 100% how they're going to do the eviction on Thursday. So one of the things is I would imagine they would want to start doing the HoH sooner than actually on Thursday night, with only Friday and Saturday to do 2 parts of the HoH, get them edited for Sunday's show and ready to go. I would actually imagine that Thursday's eviction will be taped maybe on Wednesday. Then Thursday they do part 1 of the HoH. After Thursday's episode, the feeds would then come back because we wouldn't have feeds for pretty much all of, I guess, Wednesday night into Thursday, if I'm kind of guessing right on this. And then Friday we'll have the Memory Lane episode. That's also when part 2 of HoH will take place, and that'll give them like a whole day to edit down for Sunday's episode. So that kind of makes sense to me. As far as what that means for feeds, it is possible, right? If they're going to have the eviction on Wednesday, feeds could go down Wednesday night, then, or around Wednesday afternoon, whenever they do the final 4 eviction. If they don't bring feeds back after Thursday's episode, we would only then have Friday and Saturday, and during that time will be a lot of competition and a downtime, and there really isn't that much on the feeds really. Anyway, there's potential that Wednesday night could be the last night of feeds, but again, I don't know what all of their plans are for all of the evictions and things like that. I think we also had another super chat come in, and we did Trey coming on in again. Who do you think Chelsea is most loyal to right now? That's a good question, Trey. I don't know 100%. Obviously, I think she, at this point, is just trying to keep all of her options open, right? She wants to be going into the final 3 where everyone is still taking her to the end. And at the moment, it does seem like almost everyone is taking her to the end. MJ would take Chelsea. Cam, I actually don't know if Cam would. If Cam had the option to take Rubina, I think Cam would take Rubina. I actually think he would do that. If he doesn't have the option to take Rubina, if it's between MJ and Chelsea, I think he would take Chelsea. Even though I think he would know that Chelsea would beat him, I think in the end, if he had to make that decision between the two of them, I think he would take Chelsea, especially knowing that either way, he probably would lose that vote, right? If he took MJ, Chelsea's not voting for him to win, and that's a vote for MJ. And if he evicts MJ, MJ was going to vote for Chelsea anyway. So at that point, it's like, why get somebody mad right at the end, right? But as far as where Chelsea's loyalties lie, I think Chelsea's loyalty lies to Chelsea, right? I don't know 100% who she would actually take to the final 2. For some reason, also, I didn't update my board either with nominees because I think I got off track there. She did nominate MJ and Cam. They were the ones she officially nominated. But again, it's not like it really matters. Veto is the most important part. Man, back to that question about who Chelsea's most loyal to, though. Ooh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. The gamer in me and the gamer that I think is in Chelsea, I think would want to take Rubina, knowing that Rubina is probably her safest choice to win. But I think she also thinks that Cam is a very safe choice to win as well. But for some reason, I also think she has the right idea that she would beat MJ anyway. And I think that she really has grown like close to MJ. I think she really does have a strong bond and a friendship that she's built with her. So something tells me that she would, like, if she had the choice, she might actually take MJ. But I don't know for sure. I really don't. Because one thing is, like I said, I think the only one she actually promised to use the veto on was MJ. She did ask for her to use it. But you wouldn't necessarily make that promise if you didn't have the intention of actually doing it if you happen to win. Which, like I said earlier, if I was Chelsea, I'm throwing that veto. I'm not taking that chance of winning that power of veto and having to make that choice. I'm letting them fight it out, and they can do it, right? At this point, Chelsea's in such a good spot where I think a lot of people take her to the end if they're given the option, right? Even Cam, who I'm not 100% sure. In general, I think he does lean towards taking Chelsea to the end with him. But yeah, I think for her best bet is just let them decide, right? And if you can get that final 3 HoH, if it's chance, man, that's a tough choice for her. I don't even think it is that tough of a choice. Like I said, I think she wins against all 3. But I think it comes down to, does she stick with the person that she's been with since day one, kind of with Cam? Does she go with MJ, somebody she's probably built the closest friendship with? Or does she go with Rubina, who's probably the slam dunk win? And I'm not 100% sure on where Chelsea stands with that. Maybe we'll get some more insight on the feeds. She does a lot of really great Cam talk, so I'm sure we'll get some better info from her as we move forward. Other than that, is there anything really for the update? I think that's kind of it. We're going to jump now fully into the chat. We're going to say what's up to everybody there. But first, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this stream, if you're having a good time in this live stream right now, smash that thumbs up button, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. You can also check out my socials. They're in the description, but also if you do exclamation socials, a command will come up with all the links. You can find things like Twitter and Discord, Kick and Twitch, which we're definitely going to be doing a lot more on Kick and Twitch now that the season's wrapping up. We're going to be streaming a lot over there. Who do we got coming on in with a super chat? We got Arlene. Did MJ know she is on the block? Is she upset? So MJ does know she's on the block. I wouldn't say she's necessarily upset, right? She kind of gets it, right? It doesn't matter if she is on the block, but I would say she does feel quite stressed. I think MJ realizes that if she doesn't win the power of veto, there is a really good shot that Cam and Rubina both take her out knowing that she is a strong person that could easily win the final 3 HoH, and that she would most likely take someone like Chelsea over them. So I do think she feels the heat. Is she upset with it? Not really, because I think they all kind of understand. Like, veto is the only thing that matters. The nominees really don't matter much at all. But yeah, she does know. But thank you so much for the super chat. Where was I? Oh, I was shouting out socials. Kick and Twitch. We're going to be doing a lot of streaming over there now that the season's wrapping up. One of the things I want to do is catch up on some like other reality shows that I haven't been able to watch because Big Brother's kind of been on. For example, The Anonymous. I have not watched that yet. I think we could I think it's low profile enough that we could maybe all watch that together, like fully watch that together. Don't tell Derek if you're working for Derek. If you're working for Derek or Kenny, you got to tell me. But if not, come on over to Kick, and we're probably going to be streaming some cool shows there. Because there's other ones too, like The Traders New Zealand. I think there's a new season of that. Or maybe it's Australia. I think it's New Zealand that there's a new season of. So I want to check that out. What else is there? There were a bunch of other shows, even old reality shows. I always want to go back to some of these old ones that we found that we were talking about. There was one, Murder in Small Town X, which it's like basically like a murder mystery set up in a small town, and they have to figure out clues. It looks really cool. I remember watching it back in the day. But it'd be fun to kind of revisit those. We're also be doing like some gaming streams over there too, so it's cool to check those out. Twitch and Kick, Twitch and Discord, the best way to kind of keep track of when streams are happening or videos are going live or anything like that. Also, Discord's a great community that we got over there. People are always chatting about the Big Brother feeds. They're talking about sports, other reality shows. Also, not only do I want to talk to you guys about what you guys think about the episode last night, the final 4 and everything like that, but later on as we start chatting here, I want to talk to you guys about Survivor, the new episode of Survivor that just happened. I want to talk to you guys about the challenge, if anybody's watched that. Also, Traders Canada has been going on, so we'll talk about that in a little bit. But let's jump into the chat here. I want to see what you guys are thinking, how you guys are feeling. How's your Friday morning going? Let me get some coffee. How you guys doing up in chat? Let me know. What do we got here? Jen loves Debbie. How you doing? Gracie, Greg, Stephanie, Sunshine, Otter, Justin, Savior, King. Who else do we got in there? Colleen. Did I say hi to Otter? Huh? Otter, how are you? Norma, what up, Norma? And Dudley. Justin. All you guys. How you guys doing? Let's see. Yes, love Murder in Small Town X. I couldn't remember the name of it. Thanks. Yes, so I remember watching it like back in the day when it was airing. Like, I don't remember anything about it, right? It was how many years ago that it actually came out? I think it was like 2005 or something that show came out, right? So we're almost 20 years ago at this show, right? Which is weird to say. But it looks really fun. And I found like all the episodes, so that would be like a cool one to check out. Rubina just needs one more vote for jury. You're not wrong, right? Like, I think Rubina actually has like a pretty good shot here if she does get to the end, right? I don't think she's a slam dunk necessarily, but against Chelsea, I think anyone is kind of a slam dunk. But even for like Cam, I think that's probably the closest he could get. But I don't think anybody is out of the running, right? I think probably the one who's most likely out of the running is Cam. Cam's probably got the least likely chance to win, if we're being honest. Happy for Chelsea, but I wish Rubina would have stepped it up. Rubina would have been the most interesting HoH. If the other 3 then had a battle for their shot, that would have been probably the most interesting going into the finale. But yeah, I'm happy for Chelsea as well, because here's the thing with Chelsea. I think she's been far and away the best player that we've had this season. I don't think she's, one of the greatest of all time or anything like that. But she's been definitely the best player that we've had. I think she had pretty much all those abilities. Like, I kind of saw from the beginning. I just want to say she's on my fantasy team. I got to update the scores on that. We would check in on it, but listen, I'm going to be honest. The scores are outdated. I don't even think I did the double eviction yet. I don't even think I did the double eviction yet for it. But we'll do that, and we'll definitely have the scores ready for finale night. So we'll have our winners and everything set up. But I did draft Chelsea I did. Saw it from the beginning. But she definitely did show that she probably had the best, Big Brother skills this season, and even coming up with competition wins, right? I think what now? Is this her fourth HOH? Because she had the one in week 2? Then she won it with Angela, or she won it with Angela, correct? Right? Yes, because she was the HOH in the double, so that's 2. This is 3. I think there was one more. She was HOH for Quinn, right? I think she was HOH for Quinn. So this is 4 now HOHs for her. So yeah, definitely really probably the best player that we had this season. I think it's easy to say that. Non-winning comps, people to win. How does Chelsea put up with these people in her alliance? Hey, hey guys, how's it going? Thoughts on the summit? I'm gonna be honest. I haven't watched the full episode of the summit yet. I've seen bits and pieces. When they were watching it on the feeds, I was checking it out a little bit. I tried to watch some of it on Sunday, but I was kind of like in and out of it. Then even on Wednesday, I've had like so many chances to watch this show. But what I did seem interesting, right? It did seem all right. I don't know. I have to really sit down to digest it fully. Whether or not I really like it. Part of what I did see though, there was one guy who, like, I guess part of the charm is that not all of these people are actually mountain climbers, right? It's not like these are people who go hiking a lot. And it was like day 2, and the guy's like, I couldn't stand up after sleeping. I can't. My legs didn't work. It's day 2, and I can't stand up out of my sleeping bag. So I don't know if this guy's gonna make it very far up this mountain. Whether or not he'll stick around, we'll have to see. Unless she wants the backdoor Rubina. It doesn't matter who gets put up now. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Ori, do you watch The Circle? Well, Chris T, let me tell you. I loved The Circle season 1 and season 2. I think both of those seasons were fantastic. Season 1, loved it. All the characters on there were great. Season 2, like, started like really crazy as well. There was like a big rivalry that was going on between 2 of the girls. I really liked it as well. Here's my problem with The Circle, though. It got old really fast for me. Once season 3 came along, I was still kind of like, all right, let me check it out. And it just kind of dragged on for me. Did season 4, is that the one where they did Lance Bass? Or was he season 3? Either way, it was right around then. And I was just kind of losing it, and I haven't seen any of the new ones. What do they have now? Like 7? Marvin, the guy who was supposed to be on Big Brother, was on it, right? The guy who could clap his abs. He was on it, I think. I didn't watch it. But yeah, the first 2 seasons, love The Circle, but it really kind of got old. Jury Duty, that is a show that is on my radar. It's been suggested to me before. And I love the idea. It's kind of like almost like the Joe Schmo show, which we actually watched the Joe Schmo show on stream over on Twitch and Kick. We watched the whole first season of it, which was a lot of fun, especially looking back on it, because some of the people who were on that show are like big name actors now. So that was a lot of fun going back and watching that. So yeah, Jury Duty is definitely on the list of shows that I want to check out. Bryce Harper gonna rip the Mets heart out. Yes, let's go, Matt. Let's go, Phils. Ring that bell, baby. Rubina isn't winning nothing. Cam, oh my God, please win something. He says he's trying. It's a must win for MJ, this veto. I agree, Colleen. I think she's in a lot of danger if she doesn't win the veto. I think there's a strong chance whoever wins it sees her there sitting and takes her out, especially when you're sitting there next to either Cam or Rubina and both of them can't win anything, right? Like, you're going to take out the person who can win stuff, and MJ wins. So I would take her out as well. For me, I think MJ to make it to the end, is for her to win veto and win at least one part of the next HOH. I agree, Tommy. I think the veto, like what I was just saying, must win for MJ. She is just such a juicy target that is known for winning competitions. That I think evicting her also is something that you could be like, I beat MJ in the veto and was able to evict her when she was winning all those competitions. She was a competition beast, and I was able to evict her. So I think that's something you could add to your resume as well. So yeah, I think MJ is in a must win situation for veto. Which I think is more why she was nervous than anything else when she was talking to Chelsea about going on the block. I don't think it's necessarily the idea of going on the block. It's just the fact that she knows no matter what, even if she didn't go on the block, it's all about that veto, and she's, nervous about that being played today. Even though MJ is a comp piece, Chelsea is an all-around better player for comp wins, social interactions, and she talks to the camera, always giving us commentary and a little bit of humor. I do not disagree, Gracie. Gracie, you kind of nailed it. I fully agree. I can full co-sign on everything you just said about Chelsea. I think she's the way better all-around player. She had maybe like 2 weeks there where she kind of stumbled. And it wasn't even that she stumbled. It was just her alliance was filled with a bunch of idiots. And then after that, she actually, I think, came out stronger in the game after kind of getting her head back into it. Because there was a week there where I think she felt really comfortable and she just started sitting back in that rock room. And she was almost trying to pull like almost what Suri did, where she would just sit in that back room, let people come to her instead of being active in the game and making sure she was out there kind of in the conversations. And because she did that, it let a lot of conversations happen. And then we ended up seeing Cedric get evicted, right? She kind of almost like fell asleep on her watch there. And then I think that happening kind of snapped her out of it. But she was already in a little bit of a bad situation. She ended up on the block the next week with Brooklyn, and there was actually a chance there. If she didn't win the AI arena that week, there was a chance that it could have been her that was leaving the game. So after that, she ended up being in even a stronger position than she was before. Building back those bonds that she had and making sure that the people that were in the game still thought that she was kind of on their side and working with them. So yeah, honestly, like her game was incredible. Do I think she's one of the best to ever play? No, still, I think, overall she did really well, but I think there's, just as good of players as well. And it's always hard to judge in the moment as well. And maybe even I'm saying that too because I'm afraid of doing like the recency bias thing where she's the best ever. She's the best ever play, and I don't want to do that because I don't think she is, right? I think there's people who have played better than her, but I think she did a really good job, like a fantastic job. So I want to give her flowers, but I also just want to like taper it a little bit, right? She's still got to win. Right. And there's a strong chance that maybe she doesn't win the final 3 HOH. And she's kind of that like story of like the what ifs, right? Like, oh, what if she would have gotten to the final 2? And so we still gotta get there. But she has played one of the best games this season so far. Where were we? Where were we in the chat? When did they do nominations? Last night. Like it wasn't even maybe like an hour or two after Chelsea got her HOH room. It was already like, yeah, you got to do nominations. Get them done because they're doing the veto competition today. So they kind of needed to get that filmed and all done for and get that all done because veto, HOH nominations and veto are all going to be on Sunday's episode. Cam is playing for second place, which is kind of a little bit of a thing, right? I can't say it's not a bad strategy anymore. Right? Because if you get to second place, you're getting guaranteed money, right? First off. And 2, you can't win unless you're in the chair. So if you're playing for second place and you can get yourself in that seat and you can make maybe a good case to the jury, maybe you aren't such a guaranteed second place as people thought, right? Maybe you actually come out and you go, you know what? I'm actually winning this thing. So there is actually a little bit of I think there's a bit of a strategy to maybe like being like, yeah, I'm never going to win. You should take me to the end kind of a thing. You're going to beat me in the end. and even playing up that fact a little bit. I think that could be a good strategy. Now, do I think Cam has a chance to win? That's a different story. that's a bit of a different story there. I really think T-Core would vote for Chelsea over Rubina. I kind of agree as well. I think if Chelsea is sitting in the end, she's getting all the votes, I think, right? Is there a chance maybe that T-Core would vote for Rubina? Absolutely, right? Absolutely. But I think for the most part, I think they all kind of are like, yeah, Chelsea deserves this. She played the best game. She had all of us working for her, right? The summit look like people that are all out of shape. Only a few athletes. Watch them drop. They're going to be a lot of hurt feelings in the end. My fantasy team was first 3 members of the jury. Oh no, Andy. I agree about Chelsea, but I'd like to see Cameron Rubina win. Anyone but MJ. I wouldn't mind an MJ win. I think MJ has an interesting kind of path and story that she took to get to the end, right? Always kind of being on the outside, finding her way to end up being a number for a lot of people, to the point where she got herself in a lot of like must-win scenarios, which she did end up winning. Kind of coming from behind and making all the way to the end when she always was kind of on the outside. I give her respect for that. If she ended up winning, it wouldn't be the end of the world for me. I think I ranked her in my winner rankings as number 2 behind Chelsea. A little bit of a far 2, but still above I had her of Cam, Rubina, and Chemo by a good margin as well. Let's see. Any idea who HoH was? What HoH was? Questions. I was trying to figure it out on the feeds, but I wasn't sure. Aaron, I'm with you. I don't know exactly what it was. I would guess it was some kind of questions based competition as well. I know that Chelsea has been studying, so if it was like on days and things like that, I think she would have that down. If it was something to do with competition names, I think she would have that down as well, because I know she has been studying those questions a lot. If that was the HoH, I don't know though. I wasn't able to figure it out either, but that would be my best guess. Did Queen or Leah boink? I don't know. Sadly, we don't have the jury house feeds. Where are we at here? Uh-oh. Did I lose it? I lost it. Guys, I lost my spot. It happened. It finally happened. All right, let's jump down a little bit. We'll jump down in the chat. Tigor would vote for Chelsea. I think so as well. MJ should lick her finger when she wins. Chelsea will win. I'm not sure HoH. It wasn't. I'm sure HoH. It wasn't football. It definitely wasn't catching footballs. And you know what? Honestly, listen. If we're being really honest, it could have been catching footballs. I still don't think Cam would have won that thing. I think MJ would have kicked his butt. Listen, I'm gonna be straight up. If I'm playing flag football, right? If we're doing pick 'em, I got first pick. These are my options. I'm picking MJ all day. I'm picking MJ's got the height. She's got some speed to her. She can get up there and get those catches. I'm just throwing it. She's a red zone target. That is what MJ is. I would take MJ over Cam every day of the week. every day of the week. Might have been true or false. Yes, Justin, it could have been true or false, or like before or after, right? Like did this competition happen before this eviction or after this eviction? Maybe something like that. Or like did this person get nominated before so-and-so was evicted, or after so-and-so was evicted? Things like that. It could have been a lot of different things. I'm sure they'll probably end up chatting about it more on the feeds at some point. I can't type I want Chelsea or MJ to win. I love Rubina too. I would not be mad. I'm shocked Chelsea didn't put her up, Rubina up. I'm not that shocked, because one of the things it does as well is Chelsea's already good with Cam and MJ, and she just be like, look, nominations don't matter. Rubina, this kind of buys a little bit of favor with Rubina, that maybe if Rubina does get to be the one who makes the decision in the final 3, that maybe she could be like, hey, remember I didn't put you on the block in final 4? Remember I had your back? It didn't matter. You don't tell her then it didn't matter. Then you tell her, like, remember when I didn't put you on the block? Remember that? So I'm not that surprised, but yeah, again, it doesn't really matter who even went on the block. It's all about the veto. But when do any of these players stop wanting to win? He should be competitive and good at it. He's not. Cam is a dud. I agree. MJ or Chelsea to the end. D1 athlete. Wait, I want to see that. D1 athlete or not, if you were a wide receiver on Penn State with Will Levis, you won't be catching any passes. You know, PT, you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. MJ and Chelsea final 2. MJ deserves at least second. Did Tikor really think Chemo voted against her? I think I heard her right last night. Fully misted by Chelsea. Woo. Fully misted by Chelsea. Fully misted. Would it be a tie between MJ and Chelsea final 2? Would it be a tie? Well, there wouldn't be able to be a tie in final 2. But on who would win that? I think it's pretty safe to say it would be Chelsea. I think you would have Quinn, Tikor, and then in that case you would also then have I think Cam, Rubina, Leah, and even Chemo, who would all vote Chelsea. I think the only one who wouldn't may be Angela. I think that's the only one who probably doesn't vote Chelsea in that situation. Now, could it all go a different way, right? Maybe you would get Leah, Angela. Maybe Cam is bitter, right? Maybe Rubina ended up being a little bit bitter. But I think in the end, I think it would be Chelsea pretty easily. Cam should catch all the footballs. Let's go, Chelsea. I restarted like Angela. Wish she had gotten further. Here's the thing about Angela, too. Whether you loved her or love to hate her, she brought entertainment to the season. She brought this unpredictability, this chaotic element to the game. She made it to where you weren't ever sure if people were actually going to target her, whether they were going to drag her to the end. I'm one of the ones where if I was in there, Angela would have been sitting next to me in the final 2 if I had my say. She would be right there next to me as we were facing the jury. But yeah, she definitely brought a lot to the season, 100%. Cam is a football player. He was, but was he? MJ has been the ultimate floater using Chelsea's love for him, but he'd drop her like that, but doesn't mind the carry. It'd be interesting to see what ends up happening in the situation where Chelsea does have the decision between MJ and Cam, because I don't know what she would do. I honestly don't. I think she truly has like a bond with each of them, and I don't 100% know what she would do. I actually, that would be probably the most interesting final 3 decision that we could have. Maybe between Cam and Chelsea is another really interesting one too. Chelsea and Rubina, if Cam is making the decision, that's also kind of interesting. Even MJ, if MJ has the decision between Chelsea and Rubina, that's a really interesting decision as well. So there's a lot of ways that it could end up being really fun in the final 3. Cam is an injured football player. Yeah, somebody was saying his back was hurting him. Did he get like a bad back injury while in college? Because that would actually explain a little bit. That would maybe explain a little bit of the situation. Oops, meant Cam. Prayers going out to the BB gods. I really need Rubina to win this veto. What the bleep? Oh, it could have been what the bleep. That's true too. Okay, so Chelsea did that for good jury management. I think so. But again, it's not like it even really matters, but I think that's really why she kept her off the block in the first place. Here. It's Little League football. So are they going with the all IRLs final? Oh, the all girls final? I don't know. There's still been talk about it. It's been floated out there, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I don't know. Because again, if you're sitting there and you have a choice between Cam and MJ, if you're Rubina, I think you would maybe want to take MJ or take Cam out, right? Or take Cam with you. Take MJ out. Because MJ's just so good at comps. That's another person that you probably don't have a good shot to beat. If you're going into the final three, I would rather have to face, if I was Rubina, Cam and Chelsea. And then if I'm Cam, kind of the same thing. If I have to face anybody in the final three, I'd rather face Chelsea and Rubina than have to face MJ. And even Chelsea, I think if she has the ability to make the choice, I actually think for her, taking MJ out probably is her best chance, because there is a chance that MJ maybe could win the final three and doesn't take her. So I do think MJ's in a tough spot, but also the all girls final could still be in play. That is an option out there as well. Cam is the ultimate floater, riding on Chelsea's love for him. I would say Cam's the ultimate coaster. Floater is a legitimate strategy. Coaster, yes, because he has been riding and coasting on Chelsea's love for him. If Cam and Rubina didn't win the veto, then they both need to be booted. Rubina will win the final HoH. Ooh, nice prediction. How does top three work as far as HoH? I forget. So we're going to have the veto, which should take place today. Whoever wins veto, they get to choose of the other two between the three, who is not HoH, Chelsea. They get to pick who goes with them to the final three. In final three, there's 3 parts, right? So HoH has part 1, 2, and 3. If you win part 1, you go automatically to part 3. The losers of part 1, they battle in part 2. Whoever wins part 2 faces the winner of part 1 in part 3, and then whoever wins part 3 is the HoH for final 3. They then get to choose whoever gets to sit next to them in the finals. Hopefully that I explained that well. I went on some tangents there a little bit. Chelsea would struggle against MJ in a final 2. She has a better shot at the win against Cam or Rubina. See, that's the thing. I think Chelsea would beat MJ in a final 2 pretty handily. I think she beats everybody pretty handily. But MJ's the one where you could make a case, right? MJ's the one where you could go, maybe, right? Maybe she does deserve it. Whereas Cam and Rubina, I don't think you can make really a strong argument on why they should beat Chelsea. Whereas MJ, you at least could make an argument. I don't think it would work, but I think you could. I hope MJ goes on a podcast after she sees all Chelsea's puppeteering. I want to hear what she has to say. Does Cam know he's on Big Brother and has to win something? Chelsea's carrying him. Any guess who's doing the round table? I don't know. The person I threw out there as my favorite choice is Danielle Reyes. I think she just has the best insight on a jury you could possibly get, right? She's been on the outside of a jury in the final 2 chairs to a very bitter jury, and she's also been part of a jury as well in All Stars. So I think she would have a really good handle on the dynamics of a jury. Other than that, right, there's the standard picks, right? You got Dan, Derek. I've heard Cody's name was floated around there. You could always get someone like even maybe like Vanessa, even though I think for some reason I feel like they want to maybe go with a winner. I think they want somebody who won the game to do it. And then in that case, man, I feel like it really starts to narrow it down there if you're going there for winners. And there's really only so many good options. I don't know what they're going to do. You know what I did like? I did like the idea that they did. It would not work. It would not work for BBUS, but I really like what BB Can did. They started doing the Canada's favorite player, right? So on BB Can 9 was the first season they did Canada's favorite player, and Kiefer won it. And then Kiefer did the round table. Then for BB Can 10. Then on BB Can 10, instead of doing or for BB Can 11, instead of doing Kiefer, I think it was Kevin Jacobs, which I don't remember if Kevin Jacobs was Canada's favorite player as well. I'm trying to think now. I don't remember, but they had Kevin Jacobs do it. But I liked what they did with Kiefer. I thought Kiefer was a great choice for it. Not somebody who was a winner, but somebody who was great at hosting the jury. I thought he did a really good job as a host, because that's the other part of it too. Not only do you need, and I would want someone who has a really good handle on the jury. I would prefer if it was like a 2-time player at least, someone who experienced the jury maybe on both sides would be nice as well. And the other big part of it though is you also have to be good at hosting the jury, right? You can't be just, real bland and boring, right? You got to bring some entertainment to this, right? So yeah, I don't know. There's lots of names floating out there. I still stand by Danielle Reyes. I think she's the only really good choice. The only really good one. Let's see where we're at. Totally missed where we were. But let's see. I think right about here, maybe? Or were we? Out of this group, in my opinion, only MJ has a shot against Chelsea. I kind of agree. Stopping by. Hope you have a great stream. Going back to my meeting. Kay, how are you, Kay? Danielle would be awesome. I agree. Yes, Danielle Reyes for the round table. I think Cody said he was doing it, but I could be wrong. I had heard that was going around, but I didn't check to see if he actually did or not. But that was something that I had heard going around, and I don't know if it's true. But Cody wouldn't be terrible, I don't think. He doesn't fit the qualifications that I had originally said about being on a jury. But, I mean, he is somebody who has played twice, was in the final 2 both times he played. So, yeah, I think he's in that category of people that qualify for being a good jury host. Let's see. You heard that too, Otter? Yeah, I had heard it too, but I don't know if it's true. I don't know. I want to see the reaction of all the players as to what was said about them and who lied and who didn't. Let's see, where were we? I loved Kevin Jacobs' game. Here's the thing about Kevin Jacobs. Because, while, yes, there was lots that I liked about his game, I also think, right, if we're being honest, any other season, he probably gets voted out, right? Let's go back to the very first week. He should have been voted out the first week, right? He was on the block. He should have been voted out right there and then. They should have just done it. They didn't. They ended up voting for, I think it was the other girl, and they voted her out instead. But it really wasn't even necessarily him causing it to be the other girl. It was more of the other girl and her allies and stuff like that. Then you started getting the weeks where people were just taking out their own allies, kind of similar to this season, if we're being honest. People were taking out their allies left and right. But there were multiple weeks where they did things that just were not in their best interest. And it was man, who is he? This is who he's playing against? What are we doing here? Just take this guy out. Why are you putting up your biggest ally this early in the game? You're sending him home? What are you doing? You're going with Red Gummy Bear? That's what we're doing to figure out a nominees here? And you're going to take out your closest ally? What are we doing here? But there were also things that he did that were really good in the game that I really liked. I just think he gets a lot of love. When sometimes I look back, I'm man, I don't know. I don't know. There were some D level players on that season that really, even worse. When I say D, I mean D for a dud. They were not the brightest bulbs, but at the same time, you play the cast you're given, right? Like Kevin didn't have a choice in that, right? Kevin's just playing the cast he's given, and bravo to him for that. Marty was Canada's favorite player that season. Yeah, so that was the thing. That's where they changed it up. They were like, I don't want to give it to Marty. Marty shouldn't host it. Marty, they might not even be able to understand what he's saying. So maybe it shouldn't be Marty. Tiffany would be a great host. I wouldn't mind Tiffany. I love Tiffany. Again, doesn't necessarily fit all the qualifications I said originally, where I'd like somebody who played twice, but I think Tiffany would be good. Maybe Jag will do the round table. See, I actually think Jag might be out because he's doing the thing on Thursday. I don't think they would have him do both. Because didn't Xavier do a thing last year? I want to say Xavier did a thing last year for like one of the last evictions. It might have been like the Final Four eviction. I think they had Xavier come on. So that might just be a thing they do, like where they bring the past winner on. She has a great voice for it. I'm so excited to see who wins America's favorite player. I don't know who I want. I'd say Tucker, even though he went out so early, I think he still has a really strong shot at winning it. I think Angela has a shot at winning it. I also think MJ has a decent shot at winning it as well, especially with how much he's done at kind of the end here. Chelsea, I think, would have a chance. Anybody else? Probably not. Maybe T-Core, but I don't think so. I think Tucker, Angela, MJ, then Chelsea. I think those would be like the top four that I think have a shot. But that's based off of really no research at all. We should probably start doing some polls and get some data on that, on what people are thinking for America's favorite player. I can only do like 4 options at a time. But maybe I'll do like of these 4, who do you think would win America's favorite player? And then we'll do like kind of like a tournament bracket thing. So I'll try and put some polls out on the channel. Look out for that. My favorite reaction is going to be when they find out Tucker was the instigator. Oh my goodness. They were talking about that yesterday. It was Chemo and Rubina. And they were talking about who the potential instigator was. And they both didn't think Tucker was the instigator. They were like, there was no way it could be Tucker. Watch Cam pull out a win out of nowhere. He might. Maybe he turns it on finally. Cody has said sarcastically, thank you, BB, for letting me host the roundtable. I think it was a pitch to do it, not actually saying he was. Hey, he's calling a shot, you know, he's putting it out there in the world. Stan, good morning. How you doing, bud? Love it how Chelsea tells MJ that Rubina will 100% take her for the all girls last night, but right before tells MJ that Rubina would boot her and take Cam, spin that story and push the narrative as usual. That's the thing. She does such a good job of making sure that everyone is still doubtful of everybody else, but they're always coming back to her. It's pretty skillful, honestly. She's doing a great job at having everybody misted. Maybe that's what happened to Lisa. Any hypothesis on who will win America's favorite player? I'm thinking Tucker. I kind of agree. Tucker, Angela, MJ, Chelsea. I think those are probably the ones who have the best shots. Just finished watching last night's show. It was a little boring. There was a lot of filler in there, I think. They could have sped that thing up. Don't think it needed to be 2 hours, but still, fun eviction. Nice to see the jury house. What did you think of it? Lisa, probably Tucker, in my opinion. Yeah, I think Tucker's still, even though he went out so early, he had such an impact on the game. I think he's got a really good shot to win it. Wouldn't that just be luck? But honestly, I doubt it because he knows he doesn't need to and doesn't want the responsibility of winning. I think he does. Yeah, I think he does want the responsibility of it, right? I think Cam's also a little nervous. I think Cam, one of the reasons why he wanted to keep Chemo was he was scared of like kind of the all girls final thing and didn't want to be the only guy left. So I think that's why he wanted Chemo, because he thought maybe that would at least give him like, hey, well, get Chemo out, right? Like, don't get me, get Chemo. Chelsea has no chance. I don't think so. I think Chelsea, for America's favorite player, yeah, right. Like, I don't necessarily think she's got a huge shot at it. I think she's just like of the top 4. I think she's up there, right? Compared to everybody else, right? There's a lot of people that don't have a chance before Chelsea would. But I still think Tucker, Angela, MJ, I think has a chance. And then after that, I think maybe Chelsea would have probably the next highest chance, because everybody else I think is out of it. But what needs to be done to be the fave? That's different for everybody, right? Some people love the great strategic player. Some people love the chaotic, entertaining player. Sometimes it's just the lovable characters. It's always a little different. It's always a little different. Tucker, Angela, Leah. Leah could be a little bit of a dark horse one. I could see it maybe. Cam is playing for 75K. Is all he cares about. Hey, listen, I said earlier, sometimes playing for second isn't a bad idea. You got to be in the chairs to win, right? If you're not in those final 2 chairs, you can't win anyway. So if you're playing for second, you're already there, right? Maybe there's a chance still. If Chelsea got rid of MJ, she does Shay now. Don't know if that will happen. I personally think my votes are getting split between Angela and Tucker. Props. I want Chelsea to win BB and Tucker for America's favorite player. Angela for America's favorite player. She deserves it. Last night's show could have been a text message. Good or bad, they both made the show entertaining and fun to watch due to the drama. The only way all of them have a chance to win is to not take Chelsea to final 2, but I think Chelsea is so cushioned. I don't see a way she wouldn't go to final 2. I think a lot of people are all leaning to taking Chelsea to final 2 with them. It would be a terrible mistake. They all lose to her, but I think a lot of them are thinking of taking her. I think there's a chance Cam doesn't. I think there's a chance MJ doesn't. I think there's a chance Rubina doesn't. But I think all of them do end up taking her, which is crazy. It's a great job by her. It's a great job by her. She had them youngins sweating. I wish we could see the talks in the jury house, especially since the house is so slow. I agree. It'd be nice if like around this time of year, they made like one camera, just like a jury house, like backyard cam or something, right? They're all like sitting out on the patio and we can hear them chatting. I'd vote for Chelsea as America's favorite player. Maddie, every year I hope for more. Tucker and Angela for AFP. Has a pre-jury member ever won America's favorite player? I can't think of any off the top of my head. It's a good question. It's a really good question. And I don't know the answer off the top of my head either. I would wager to bet probably not. I would bet probably not. It would be probably a first if Tucker's able to pull it off. But also, I think Tucker is probably one of the first that would be able to pull something off like that. Let's see, where was I? Totally lost where I was. I was down here more. Vote for Chelsea. Has Preacher. Let's see, where are we at? Oh no, I lost it. Oh no, it jumped on me. Where did it go? Survivor, BB Reindeer Games, bet on it. It was a hit. I actually do think Reindeer Games might come back. I think a lot of people enjoyed it. I think it was pretty cheap for them to produce, right? It wasn't that long to film either. They did it over like the course of pretty much like a week, and then it aired for a couple of weeks there, right? I would wager it would probably have a strong chance of coming back. I wish it would like dump the reindeer game aspect of it, right? Just do it, just make it like its own thing, like BB Mini, right? Or something like that. I'd also, if I'm being real honest, would rather them do like a BB Legend season, where it was like a short, condensed version of Big Brother, but just real quickly. Maybe you do it like for a month, right? Where it's like 4 weeks. And then I think you would get a lot more people on board doing it. Because one of the big things is not everybody wants to come back for 3 months again. But if you did it where it's like, hey, we're doing it where it's 4 weeks long, boom, 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 it's all the heavy hitters. I think you would get some people that have said they are done, who actually then at that point might go, well, you know what, what's one more time, right? So I would be most interested in something like that. I think you could do like an all winners like that. You could do like a BB Legends like that kind of a season, and that would be my preference. But I do think a reindeers game, there's a strong chance that's coming back. Let's see. Tucker for sure will win. America's favorite. I would like to know what's going on in jury. Same. I don't think many people are giving Chelsea the credit she deserves. She worked hard to win the game without overplaying it. Yeah, I was going over Chelsea earlier, telling how much that she was by far the best player this season. There was really only like 2 weeks where she really had any part of like a slip, and then she ended up kind of being in a better position even after that. And a lot of that slipping was more just the rest of her alliance members and maybe just being a little bit comfortable in there. But yeah, definitely, I think by far you can easily say best player of the season right now. Or this was fun, gotta run, have a nice day. Gracie, thanks for hanging out with us. I appreciate it. If any of you guys are hanging out right now and you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this stream, if you're having a good time, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. Hitting that like button is the easiest way to support the channel. It's the YouTube algorithm gods know what we're doing here is a good time, and more people might come out and show out. Also, check out my socials. There's a description down below that's got a bunch of links. You can also do exclamation socials, get more links there as well. Things like Twitter and Discord. Discord's a really fun community that we got going on over there as well. People always talking about Big Brother, other reality shows, there's sports. You can there's a place you can post pictures of your pets. I want to see your dogs. I want to see your cats. I want to see whatever. You got bunny rabbits? Put some bunny rabbits in there. We got a really fun community over on Discord. Kick and Twitch. Also, I highly recommend going and follow me over there. We're going to be doing a lot more streams now that the Big Brother season's kind of wrapping up over on Kick, and maybe some fun little watch parties, some gaming streams. So definitely check that out. You can also check out things like the Ori Fund or Throne. You can join the channel with a membership too. None of those are ever required. They're always appreciated. But if you wanted to check those out, you can. Easiest thing, just smashing that thumbs up button. It takes one little click, one little thumbs up, and you have no clue how much that helps. Let Donnie host the round table. Dud, I'm down for it. Dudley, I am down for it. Cody Nicholson won. Oh, was he pre-jury? Amy, that might be the one. MJ possibly could have the jury votes over Chelsea. Not sure who wins between those two. MJ was controlled, but she was just a comp beast. I think there's, again, an argument that could be made for MJ over Chelsea. But when it would come down to the votes, I think Quinn is locked in Chelsea if it's MJ versus Chelsea. I think T-Core is locked in. I think Kima would be locked in. I think Rubina would be locked in, and that would be 4. And you wouldn't even need Cam. You wouldn't even need Leah. Leah was, I think, very bitter to MJ. So yeah, I think in the end Chelsea would have it. But again, you can make an argument for MJ over Chelsea. You can. And that's probably the closest argument that you can make for Chelsea to lose is against MJ. But I think she would end up winning it. I think Leah could also be a contender for America's favorite player. Yeah, somebody else mentioned Leah too. I could see it. Angela would get it before Tucker. I'm not knocking her. It's a good thing. Chelsea is an all-around good player. Her social skills are top tier. The only person I think Rabina is the only one that doesn't take her, and that's unlikely. That's the thing, right? I don't know if anybody doesn't take her, right? It really is seeming like everybody does take her. It wouldn't be good for their game. They would lose to her, but that's what it seems like to me. And she's done, like, that's because of her. It's not just like, oh, they're terrible. It's like, no, she's done the legwork, right? She's put in the work with all of these people to make sure she's in that position where she is most likely to be taken by them. If Tucker wins AFP, he'll walk away with $70K because he already won $20K for being the AI assistant. Not too shabby. It definitely wouldn't be. Be a nice little payday for Tucker. If they had Rudolph games this year, would you cover it? I would probably cover it this year, yes, then. Christy, I think would absolutely will. I missed that. Scraping, I think AFP is 25K. No. I forget what it is. It might be 50. I think they upped it. It might still be 25. I don't know. How far back would they have to go to get someone to come back? I mean, there were players 15 years ago. That's true, Martin. That's true. I sure could be wrong. Oh, it is 50K now. Interesting. Could they get Ica from BB Can? So that's a thing, right? I always would love to see BBUS versus BB Can. I think you could do a really fun season with a lot of great characters from BB Can. And there's a lot of great the player base and the player pool for BB Can is deep. There are lots of really good players. So they 100% could. Would they? I don't know. And also, I say 100% could, but there are like contractual things that go on with the rights for the North American, or not North American, but the American Big Brother and the Canadian Big Brother. There's different rights deals that they have. So I don't know all the details on that, on who's under contract and things like that. But I'm sure a lot of them, right, are very easily to get. And hey, Survivor does Canadian players now, right? So why couldn't BBUS do Canadian players now too? That there's no BB Can. Let's see. Leah said she would vote for MJ last night. That was not the takeaway that I got. Ote, that wasn't the takeaway I got. I got Leah was kind of more flexible, but I got that she was leaning towards Chelsea. Maybe that's just me. And I was also kind of trying to read between the edit a little bit. But to me, I think the only one who really said that, because like she gave MJ props, right? Like Leah was like the one they kind of chose to give MJ like some good things to be said about her. But she also said a lot of good things about Chelsea. And I think the only one who was very anti-Chelsea was Angela. Angela seemed to be the only one who was against Chelsea being the one to win. That I at least that was my takeaway from it. I'd have to watch it again. I think if MJ and Chelsea final, then MJ gets Angela, Leah, and Chemo, because Chemo said MJ was the biggest threat. Well, even if MJ gets Angela, Leah, and Chemo, that's still only 3. You would need 4 to win. Right? So even if she got Angela, Lee, and Chemo, you would then still have Cam, Rabina, Quinn, and T-Core's vote. If it's MJ versus Chelsea, T-Core's locked in. Quinn was also very pro-Chelsea, so I think he's locked in. Cam has always been very pro-Chelsea, right? He's kind of her day one. Unless for some reason he was kind of bitter, or unless for some reason he is actually closer to MJ than we kind of realize, I think he would vote Chelsea over MJ, but you could potentially say that he goes to MJ. I could see it. And then the last one would be Rubina. She could go to either way, right? I could see that going either way. She could jump on with either T-Core going for Chelsea, or she could go for Chemo, going for MJ. But I think more than likely, you would have Quinn, T-Core. I think Leah would go Chelsea. I think Cam would go Chelsea. I think Chemo, and I think Rubina. I think it would be almost unanimous for Chelsea. Even Angela, when she was saying that she wouldn't vote Chelsea, I still think there's a strong chance she would in the end. But she is someone who is very set in her own path, and I could see being like that one dissenting vote as well. I think if Rubina wins the veto and chooses out MJ in final 3 is Chelsea, Cam, and Rubina. That would be an interesting one. Let's see. Or where are we? Leah will vote MJ. You're right, though. Most votes would go to Chelsea. It's time for the dogs at the crib to rise up for Cam. Will you be watching BBUK? Premieres October 6th. They have live feeds. Every so often I'll check out BBUK. It's not really 100% my cup of tea, to borrow a little bit of a UK pun. I guess not really a pun. What would that be? Like not a euphemism, an idiom? An idiom? Maybe. I'm a little smart, guys. Kind of dumb. Anyway, BBUK. What I was doing actually last season, because the seasons kind of overlapped more, especially because of how long last year went. What I used to do was when I would edit a video, I would put on the newest episode of the BBUK that aired, and I would watch that as I was editing the update for the next morning. But yeah, I might check it out. I don't know if I'm going to be covering it or anything, but I might check it out. I got a few friends over in the UK. There was a friend of mine, Vix, who asked me to cover BBUK. I told her if she covers it with me, I will. So go yell at Vix. Find Vix and yell at her. And if Vix agrees to cover it with me, I will do it. Let's see, where are we at here? Victor won America's Favorite Player, and he was pre-jury. Yeah, but then didn't he come back and then wasn't he on the jury? Yeah, then and then a house guest, and then the jury, and then a house guest, and then jury again. So yes, technically he was pre-jury, but also jury. Greetings from Davie, Florida. Well, hello there. How's things going down there? Hopefully things are good with the hurricane down there. I know there's a lot of people down in the south who are dealing with the effects of was it Hurricane Helena. So hopefully you're good down there. I know North Carolina was a place that got hit really hard. I saw a lot of videos of like helicopters, like amateur pilots who are like volunteers, who have flown out there to kind of do like supply drops and pick people up in remote locations. Lots of roads that used to be roads that are just now gone. So yeah, hopefully everything's going good for you down there. BB Australia is my favorite. I tried to watch the one where Tim went back. It was just recent, like a couple of seasons ago, I think. And they brought Tim back because I knew Tim from BB Can. But that was another one I couldn't really get into either. I don't know. It wasn't my jam as much. That was a little bit closer to what I like because there was a little bit more strategic aspect to it. But yeah, I don't know. It's not too bad. Now, Survivor Australia, that is some good stuff. Let me tell you, that is some real good stuff. Let's see where we at. Apparently, if Chelsea wins the final HoH, she'll have the most HoH wins in a US season. What? Really? Is it only 5? Because she's got 4 right now, right? So if she wins the final HoH, it'll be 5? Is that really all it is? I'm trying to think. Yeah, I guess more people win vetoes, right? With the comp record. There were more vetoes that they would win. That actually might track. Yeah, it is a shame they canceled BB Can. Your tone, your approach, your delivery of information is top notch. The big network should be scouting your skills and talent. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Leah was talking up MJ. She was, but she also talked up Chelsea. I'm gonna have to rewatch the jury segment, right? It's hard to watch whenever sometimes like segments like that. I'm focusing more on like, hey, what's going on in the chat. Like I'm listening in, but I should go back and watch it again. At least my initial takeaway was that she was also pro Chelsea. Like of course she was talking up MJ, right? But like, so here's again one of the reasons. One of the things I said earlier in the update was it's sometimes hard to judge 100% what's really being said in those jury segments because they're edited sound bites, right? It's just like the diary room where sometimes like you can kind of trust it, but also sometimes they're just saying things for the show more than what they're actually thinking, right? Because they're going to ask Leah like, hey, give me something good about MJ. What do you think about her in this game? Do you think she's got a shot to win? Then they're going to ask her, hey, what do you think about Cam? Does he has a shot to win? And they're going to say, hey, what about Rubina? Do you think she's got a shot to win? So she's going to give a response for each one, and they're going to choose then which one they want to show us, right? So they're just like I said, I think she also had good things to say about Chelsea as well as MJ. Whether or not she leans one way or another, I don't really know. And it's also why it's just hard to judge from those jury segments. They can be very misleading because, again, they're also trying to not necessarily give it 100% away who the winner is going to be, right? They want us kind of guessing and they want us wondering. But I thought it was very clear that Chelsea was a favorite of the jury. Definitely of Quinn, definitely of T-Core. I felt like Leah was also a fan of Chelsea as well. The only one who I felt like was anti-Chelsea was Leah. Or, excuse me, was Angela. I thought she flat out said, could be wrong. That's the thing, too. I have to go back and watch. No, she said it. Said what, though? Leah could flip Quinn's vote, though. It's a possibility. Maybe. Not surprised Chelsea won HoH. She's surprised she put up MJ and Cam, even though the only POV thing the only thing that matters is POV this week. But yeah, I think with the keeping Rubina off, it was kind of like a weird little like jury management thing, right? Where she could be like, remember I kept you off the block. According to my research, players like Ian, Drew, Jackson, Cody, and Moores capped out with 4 HoHs in that single season. Wait. I lost it. Where's the end of it? Which is what Chelsea has right now. So yeah, if she wins one more, that would be 5. Interesting. I wonder who ever regrets not getting players out early in the game. Also, why doesn't anyone ever ask someone, are you in any alliance? I think sometimes it does happen, right? Like they'll say like, are you in any alliances yet? Hell, one of my favorite moments in Big Brother is Danielle Reyes and Jason being like, so you got an alliance yet? Nah. Anybody approach you? Nah. That must mean they all have alliances and we're not in it, right? Yeah. Like that's one of my favorite moments in Big Brother. That is going way back to the early days. And then them two just sitting there like, so you got one yet? Nah. You got one yet? Nah. We're kind of screwed now, aren't we? Yeah. That was one of my favorite moments. And then what was the other part of your thing? Regrets about getting people out all the time. They always say we should have got somebody out earlier. All the time. That is always a standard thing. It's like, oh, we should have taken you out. Let's see where we at here. Let's get Cam out and have a final 3 of women. It could happen. It very well could happen. What's funny is MJ talked more negatively about Angela than Chelsea has. As a Brit, I prefer the US format. I kind of agree. I like the strategy more to it. That's one of the things I don't like about the UK is it's like literally against the rules that there's this game going on, but you're not allowed to talk about the game, right? Like if you talk about the game, you're in trouble. You're breaking the rules of the game by talking that there is a game. So you have to like pretend there's not a game going on, but there really is a game going on. Yeah, I don't know. I like it, but I also don't. It's I like it, but I don't. So if MJ doesn't get veto, and Rubina does, that mean that Chelsea has to vote out MJ or Cam. So if Rubina gets the veto, she gets the vote, and then she has the choice of MJ or Cam. Whoever wins veto, they get the choice. Too bad they don't have Australian Big Brother anymore. Did that get canceled too? Did BB Can get canceled? I thought I heard something about it. It did get canceled. Why didn't BB show the jury anymore? I'm really curious how they are all thinking and their reaction to each new jury member. So they showed them last night, Regina. Last night was the first segment of the jury. We saw the first four all kind of meeting, seeing how everything happened, some of their thoughts. So yeah, that was on last night's episode. How can you watch BBUK? There's ways. You working for Derek, Joy? Joy, if you're working for Derek or Cody, you got to tell me. But if you're not working for Derek or Cody, I might have ways. I might have some ways for you. Chelsea is going to throw veto. Well, she should throw it. I agree, Sean. I agree. She should throw it. Let's see. Oh no, Linda, that's so sad. Thoughts and prayers for Cliff going through a tough time. Sad to hear that. Hopefully he's doing all right. If you check out the live feeds, I'm not seeing Cam on any of the cameras. He was in the rock room sleeping. Rubina and MJ went to bed in the unicorn room, and then Chelsea was upstairs. So that might not be where you see him. BB Cam was canceled. Yeah, it's a shame. If Cam wins veto, I kind of feel like he would evict MJ. What do you think? I kind of agree, right? I think MJ's probably the best bet for Cam to evict. And it's why I think MJ's kind of in a real position here where she kind of has to win. I think there's a chance Rubina would get rid of Cam to kind of keep the all-girls thing going. But I think there's also a really good chance that she just gets rid of MJ because MJ's the biggest threat to win Final 3 HoH. And beat her. I would rather have somebody as less of a chance of beating me in the final 3 than having MJ there. If you could pick any reality show in the country to be a contestant on, which are you going with? I mean, Big Brother was always my answer, right? That was always kind of the one where if I could go on a show, that would be the one I would want to go on. Is that still my answer? Probably. If I had to pick one that wasn't Big Brother, maybe Traders. The thing with Traders, though, it's so random, right? Like unless you're a trader, you have like no control over the game. Like you're just kind of going about your business if you're not a trader in that show. But that might be like my new like second one. God, I wouldn't want to do Survivor. Oh no, because keep me off the beach. I am not feeling that one. I don't want to starve for. Well, it's only like 28 days now. I don't know. I could probably do 28 days. If they went back to like the old school Survivor, I don't know if I could do it. New school Survivor, yeah, maybe. They gotta let me steal the rice though. Can we talk about that? The girl who stole rice during the competition and like shoved it in her pockets, she should have got to keep that rice. That was not right that they made her dump that rice. That was her rice. She fully should have gotten to keep that rice. Norma, have a good morning. Have a good rest of your day. Hope you enjoy. We'll probably wrap it up here in just a bit. I never gave BBUK a shot. Mainly because last year it came on when BB26 was on. Yeah, right. That's the thing. It was on at like the same time. I just so happened to be like doing the update, so it was like I'm like editing my thing. I need something on in the background anyway, so I put the episodes on and watch it that way. Let's see here. I saw some. Why do y'all love Tucker? Is it his looks like he? What do you mean his gameplay was awful? Here's the thing about Tucker. Nominating himself to evict, yeah, completely dumb. But he brought complete chaos to the game. Something that was so unpredictable. He was so fun to watch him play the game. It was kind of fearless, where he wasn't afraid to just like call people out for stuff. He wasn't afraid to just go in there and win competitions and take shots, and really play the game. I think saying his gameplay is awful is a little unfair, right? Obviously, yeah, nominating yourself, volunteering for the block, never really a smart idea, but it was working for him. And then really the T-Core one where he did technically say like, yeah, if you got to put me on the block, I'll do it for you. He said later, I was doing that to be nice. I didn't really mean it. And then there were multiple people that told her like, yeah, I don't think you should put him up. He just said, nah, he volunteered. I'm going to do it. So it kind of gave her an opening to do it, but it still was a bad move on her part to do it. But I think more so than anything, it's not his gameplay necessarily, like a little bit, because it was so chaotic. It's more the entertainment value he brought. Tucker made the show more interesting. What was the comp? I don't know. I actually don't know. I wasn't able to piece it together. They didn't really talk about the comp last night. Let's see. Yeah, give her that rice. I think it's because he shook the game up and made it more exciting. That's the thing, right? He wasn't like the best player who ever played or anything like that, but he was an exciting player. Good morning, Ori. I slept in. Good to hear you got a good night rest, Misty. Where he says it's just a bit, he means an hour. Probably. Or I agree, the rice was hers. That was a smart thing to try. So do you think Chelsea's noms are a good choice, or should she have shown her hand as far as which way she was leaning? I think it didn't matter either way, right? I think honestly, actually, probably it was the most ideal choice to keep Rubina off the block, because at least maybe you could build a little something with her there, whereas like you already got MJ and Chelsea locked in, right? You don't have to really work with them, so you can kind of hide it a little bit. So I think actually it was probably the best move for her. But again, it's all about veto. Who wins if Chelsea and Cam final two? That's a tough one. That's a really tough one too. And it's hard to say because we wouldn't know exactly how Chelsea and MJ went out and like what they're feeling. I think Rubina would probably have a really good shot at it. I think T-Core, Chemo would both really be on Rubina's side 100%. Chelsea and MJ, again, like depending on how they go out, right? Like if Cam takes them out like back to back, if he wins like this veto and then the final 3 HoH and he sends MJ and Chelsea out, I could see them being bitter, right? And maybe not voting for him and voting for Rubina. And that would be it, right? That would be game over for him. But it'd be hard to tell. That would be maybe the hardest one to say who wins for sure. Would be Cam versus Rubina. Let's see. Tucker has a big heart. He was allowed to behave that way. Imagine if MJ or Chelsea handled it the way that Tucker handled his. What do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean. T-Core killed her game by putting up Tucker. 100%. If Tucker didn't go out on her HoH, there's a strong chance the final 4 is Tucker, Rubina, Chemo, and T-Core. There's a strong chance that's the final 4 right now. Cam likely going home. I can see MJ winning it. MJ's winning veto. I'm out of here. Make the donuts later, Ori. Go make those donuts. Do you enjoy or do you think they will have a comp where they're hanging by something and need to hold on? They do tend to do that as part one of the HoH for Final 3 usually is some kind of endurance. They've done the one where you hang on the rope and then it swings you back and forth. They've done ones where they were on like different like sections. What was that? Was that 17? No, 18. With Nicole, Paul, and what's his face? You know the guy. You know the guy who always was jumping out scaring people before this season. All were jumping out scaring people. James? James? Might be James. And they had to go to like each section and like either stand there for a while on like these pegs. Like there was another one they had to hold something. So yeah, there's a strong chance that it could be something like that, which I think MJ would be very good at. I think that's a very easily won comp for MJ. Or you show your oh yes, Andy. Let me see. Hold on. If I do this, here we go. So we were talking last night. About a BB comic. What would my BB comic be? And one of the ones we came up with was how I have all these secret alliances. So Andy made this with AI, and this would be the Ori, the Secret Alliance comic for BB Comics. And honestly, it's pretty good. With all the handshakes going on, all my secret alliances back there. I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's funny. But yeah, we were talking about what the comic would be, and I think actually this would be a pretty fun one. This would be pretty good. I liked it. I forgot to show this. I was going to show this on last night's live stream when he made it. But then we ended up going on a tangent and I kept forgetting. But yeah, Andy, thank you for making that. I thought it was pretty good. Where are we at here? Veto winner. Huge here, 100%. It's all about the veto. Tucker got the game going. I feel like Chelsea wins over anyone, potentially MJ. I kind of agree. Chelsea knows one is coming down and Rabina's going up. Cam or NJ, you need to win the veto. Now watch MJ win the veto and evict Rabina. It jumped. His energy was huge hubris. Which, again, though, right? Whether you love him or you love to hate him, that makes the show more exciting when people are like that. Right? If people just go in there and they're just game body, just doing everything that's the right way and, you know, the way it's supposed to be played, I hate that, right? That's all boring. It's boring. Like, yeah, every so often it's good to have a really good, just strategic threat who, you know, knows all the right moves. Sometimes I just want somebody loud, obnoxious, who's not afraid to shake things up, right? Makes for a more entertaining game. Makes it more interesting for those strategic players to work around that, right? To use that to their advantage, to weaponize that kind of a player to their own ability, right? And I always find that kind of interesting. Morning, Ori and chat. Happy Friday, Lisa. I feel like this is the last season of BB. I don't think so. I think they'll be back. Here's why. One, they do very well in the summer ratings, right? It's a fairly cheap, easy show to produce that gives them lots of content during the summer, which is always just kind of a dead time anyway for a lot of television. They do a lot of reruns and things like that in the summer. So by having something that's new and fresh and also live, I think are a big thing right now. If you look at the TV industry, the things that are getting big money deals are live content, whether it's sports like with the NFL, the NBA getting huge big money deals, whether it's more of like the entertainment sports, right? Like with wrestling getting huge deals. WWE just got one with Netflix. AEW just got one with HBO and like Max for their streaming site. It's all these like live content stuff that is the thing that's making the most money right now in television, because just the way we watch TV nowadays, right? How many people do you know, even probably a lot of you right now, when a show comes out, do you watch it when it airs on the television? Probably not, right? When the new Game of Thrones comes out, the new House of Dragons, maybe you watch that like, 2 weekends later, right? You watch 3 in a row or something. Very few people will sit down and watch things the kind of way it used to be, right? Like back in the 90s, I still remember like when the Seinfeld premiere, or not Seinfeld, the Seinfeld finale was happening. I don't know how many people remember this. That was like an event. Everybody was watching that, right? Same thing with like the Survivor first season. That was like the whole country was watching that all at the same time, because the only time to watch it was at the time it was on, right? All of our viewing habits have changed. So I think live content is the most valuable content, because what happens when you watch a thing on a tape delay? You can fast forward those ads, right? Whereas a live show, there's no fast forwarding. You got to be there to watch it. And what do we get every single Thursday? A live eviction show. And I think that is something that is extremely valuable to these television networks right now, if they see it, because that's the other end of it, is not everyone sees the value in these properties. And how many different network executives have we seen make terribly dumb decisions for their network and cancel things? And there are new owners of Paramount. It's a brand new team that have taken over the network. So a lot of the things that happened with this season, like with, for example, no flashback and rewinds, things like that, that was all the old owners of Paramount. Those were all decisions that were made prior to the sale to the new ownership group. So hopefully this new people, they see the value in Big Brother. They see the value in live content like that, and they keep it going. But as far as I know, things are going well. If you look at the ratings, I know a lot of people. So we were talking about Tucker. A lot of people were trying to say that, oh, after Tucker left, the ratings tanked. Not really. If you look at the ratings week by week, first off, every single week, Big Brother was on 3 nights. They won 2 out of the 3 nights, their time slot, 100% of the time. The Thursday night episodes, they always won, and the Sunday night episodes, they always won their time slots, which is by far the biggest thing that you need to do, first of all. If they were like number 3 on those nights or something like that, maybe you would need to start worrying. But the fact that they were number 1 in their time slot is good news. The only nights they didn't win their time slot was when they were up against America's Got Talent. On those nights, Big Brother would get about 3 million viewers. America's Got Talent would get 4 million. But the really good sign of that is 3 million was kind of the average for Big Brother anyway. So it wasn't like they were losing their audience to America's Got Talent. It was just there's a different audience that watches America's Got Talent than watches Big Brother. Sure, there's probably some crossover. There always is, channel switching back and forth and stuff. But for the most part, the ratings were actually really good this season, especially when you take into consideration ratings overall are down for everyone, right? Across the board for television. The only things that are doing well, like I said before, are live things like sports and things like that. I went on a tangent there, guys. I know I did. I went on a complete tangent. Let's see, where were we? Is veto today or tomorrow? I believe it is today. I was kind of shocked. Liked Leah, and she does like Quinn. I think Angela was the most shocked. MJ and Chelsea can't do that and have the same reception. What do you mean? Oh, wait. That's what I'm saying. He's able to get away with it and be accepted. I'm not sure what you mean, though. Get away with what and be accepted that wouldn't be accepted by somebody else. Right? Like, I think, I'm not 100% sure what you're trying to get at, but I feel like you're just kind of making a thing up that it wouldn't be true, right? Like things that Tucker did, Angela did just as much of in the house. Who else? There really wasn't that many big personalities in there. Lisa did kind of some of the stuff too, a little bit, right? If Chelsea or MJ acted like Tucker did, right? Like, I think that's more on other people, right? That's more on like I wouldn't see anything different if Chelsea acted the same way Tucker did. I enjoyed the way Tucker played, and I wish more people would play like that. So like I wouldn't necessarily think of anything of it. Where I think is if you were going, well, Tucker can do that, but somebody else can't. I think that's more saying something about what you hear from other people. I don't want to necessarily say what you would feel either, but like I would never even have thought like, oh yeah, no, Chelsea cannot act like Tucker. That would not be proper, right? And I think that's a weird box to put people in, right? Like anybody can act any way they want, right? Doesn't necessarily mean we're going to accept it either way, right? But yeah, I don't think there's anything Tucker did that nobody else could do and get away with. If MJ wins the veto, she will tie the all-time record. Oh, yeah, she's getting close to that, right? She's right up there with those competition wins. Dina! What up, Dina? The good old days. Yes, the good old days. Veto on late tonight or tomorrow. They did noms. Yes, they did noms early already. Veto probably will be today at some point, maybe tonight. But they got to get that filmed and edited for Sunday's show. Let's see. The all-time comment record is 10. Jag beat Janelle record that season. Yes, he did beat that. Let's see. I just saw somebody saying something about ratings. Ratings are down though. Yeah, but stuff usually stays the way last year when there were new contracts and deals. Keep the show in late fall till October works well though. So here's the thing, actually. Let's say let me pull this up because ratings aren't down, right? And so at least when I looked last. See if I can find. Where is that site? Because one of the other things, if they've made ratings actually so much harder to really get data on, the Nielsen site used to be the best way to get it. Here we go. All right, let me copy this, put this over here so we can take a look and kind of show you what I'm talking about here. I think if I do that, there we go. All right, we can all see this, right? Make it bigger. Whoop. All right, so this is from beginning of the year. These are all the Wednesdays, and then there's a Tuesday show in there as well. So you can see like demo changes and stuff like that, and it goes up and down every week. The demo's somewhat important too, but you can see for the most part, right? It's at 0.5. This one's a little bit down here. I don't know what that one was up against. That one was a big one that went down, but it bounced right back. 6, 5, 5. Oh, you know why that one was? That was the Tuesday episode. I was like, wait, why was that one so went down? That was the Tuesday episode that was just like a repeat one, right? 5.5, 0.5, 0.6, 0.6, 0.4, and 4. But also, these are the last 2 Wednesdays, right? And I think we all can admit these last 2 weeks here, it has started to get a little bit slower. As we were getting into kind of like the double eviction and things like that, things were starting to slow down anyway, but also not a huge drop off. Also, if you look at like the actual like viewers in the millions, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 2, all really good. Now, if you go to the Thursdays episodes, these are actually the ones that usually have the higher viewing numbers because more people just watch on Thursdays anyway. All the Thursdays all hit 5, all go into 6, none of them going down, right? You got 0.51, 5.5, 5.3, 6, 6, almost 6. You got 6.4, 5.6, 5.7, 5.6, 5.7. So all really in line, right? Nothing's like, oh my God, they went to like a 0.3 or something in the ratings, right? Ratings didn't really drop much. Same thing with the millions, the viewers in the millions, all pretty much, right? Even higher. The ratings for these weeks are higher than they were at the beginning of the season. So more people started watching. If anything, ratings are up, right? Then we'll look at the Sundays episode. These ones, the ratings also go down just because less people watch on Sundays. Like I said, the Thursday ones are the big ones that people watch. And again, all really kind of the same. 0.4, 0.4, 0.4, actually going up on that one. This one was down on a 0.3, but they bounced right back up. 0.5, 0.5. Down a little bit on 0.4, but right back up. 0.5, 0.5. These two, again, down, but we've already talked about that. It slows down at the end of the season anyway. And overall, the numbers in the millions, not too far off, right? Like same as kind of the beginning of the season. So it's not like you change that much. It's just that people watch at different times. They keep up with much. And like I said, the Thursday episodes are the main ones, right? So even here, can we, I don't know if we can agree on this. Maybe I view these differently than other people are viewing this. These are not numbers that went down, right? Now, let me see if I can pull this up. I'll bring this back because I want to pull up the charts for the week. I think that's on here. TV ratings. Daily network ratings. I hate this site. It's so terrible on finding like ratings data. My season channel. Trying to show. Oh, somebody coming on in here. Peter, hitting that sub button. Thank you so much for doing that. You might not know this, but when you hit that subscribe button, we now have a secret alliance. Don't tell anybody. Don't listen to anybody in chat either. They might tell you about other secret alliances, but it's not true. I want to see if I can find where are the weekly rankings that just has them compared of all the networks. Is this it? Oh, wait, this might be it. I might have found it. Might have found it. Oh, boy. I'll tell you what. If I did find it, Summit is not looking good. I'll tell you that. But also, I have another example of why, even though the Summit's rating doesn't look good right now, it might be all right. Let me see. This one doesn't have like what I want. I wanted like the days, right? Like where it shows like, oh, here's like the Thursday shows. Ratings by channel and season. Read more. This is just the CW. Know what I think I can do though? I can do this. Nope, this doesn't help because that's just doesn't fully have everything. Maybe this one? I'm struggling to find it. I don't know. Maybe I'll find it eventually. But at least hopefully just showing the actual Big Brother ratings at least showed you a little bit what I was trying to talk about. As far as like the season goes, it was fairly even, right? Like ratings never took like a big dip or anything like that. They're dropping off a little bit towards the end of the season, but that's again just because it gets a little bit slower and then people catch up for finale. I'm sure finale will have 3+ million people watching. Anyway, let's get back into the chat here, and then we'll wrap things up. We'll start wrapping it up here. We're going on 2 hours already. Or do you watch The Masked Singer? No, I've seen it a couple times. There was an Eagles player, Jordan Mailata. He was on it, so I checked out when he was. But no, I never really watched it too much. Well, I mean, the VP debate is the VP debate. Of course, it's going to have higher ratings than PP. That's like saying, I don't know, the Super Bowl had more ratings than Big Brother. Like, of course, yeah. Didn't Leah say she would marry Quinn? I don't know if she said she would marry. Oh, she did in the one game, the marry a Vic kiss or whatever. Let's see. Oh, totally lost where I was now. Uh-oh. Oh no, I lost where I was. We're gonna jump down. Oh, Stan, yes. Ori streams. Have you seen Abbott Elementary? I have. Abbott Elementary, one of my favorite new shows. If you guys are looking for like a good like feel good like comedy sitcom, highly recommend Abbott Elementary. It's like a mockumentary kind of show, like think like The Office, right? Where they're doing like a documentary style, but it's a comedy scripted show. And it's all about these teachers in Abbott Elementary, a school in Philadelphia. It's so funny. The one like teacher who's like been there for like decades, named Barbara. She's like this real like religious mentor kind of a teacher, but she's a little bit of a mess in her own right. There's another teacher who's like the typical Philly woman. She's like straight up ripped out of South Philly. I don't even know if she's from South Philly or even Philly originally, but she is straight up like ripped out of South Philly and put onto the show. She's perfect in it. So many good characters. It's got the guy from Everybody Hates Chris. He's in it too. And then the main actress, she's like the writer for the show as well. And I just saw a couple people actually sent it to me. They're doing a Always Sunny in Philadelphia crossover episode. And I'm scared for the kids of Abbott for having to meet the kids, meet those people from Always Sunny, any of them. Like, keep the kids away from them. It was not be good. And I'm also interested to see Barbara's reaction to any of them as well. She is not going to find them as appropriate. It's gonna be good. Let's see. That's when they announced AFP as well. So yeah, that'll be on the finale, but I'm sure Vote will open. They'll probably open it on like Friday's episode or something like that. The Summit is good. So I was just talking about that when I was looking at the ratings. They only did like 1 million. That was only like one episode though, and I don't know what day that was because they did like 3 different premiere days. But apparently on one of the airings they only did like 1 million. But counterpoint to that, do you guys anybody check out? It was what was it called? Deal or No Deal Island. That was getting terrible rating. That was getting let like 1 million. But the counter thing on that was it was on Peacock Plus where it was getting tons of views. So the thing is, even though people are watching on TV or other places, the ratings don't reflect that all the time. So like if you're watching on through Peacock, right? Like when I watch the episode, I don't watch it on TV. I watch it through Peacock. Those ratings don't count for that. And think of how many people watch Big Brother that way. So one of the things is with ratings, and I think there's a lot of people that still think this way when you kind of have to get out of that, is what those numbers are don't matter anymore. They don't matter. The ratings numbers are never going to be what they used to be like in the 90s. And you can't look at like those being the end all be all of what makes a show successful or not anymore. The whole business model is changing. And the other part of that is too, just like I said, there's some people that still think that way. Some of those people are the network executives. On the positive side, the new owners of Paramount, they're not like network people. They're coming actually from like software. They made a lot of like cloud-based networking stuff. That was where they originally got the money to even buy Paramount, right? So these people coming in, they're kind of new blood. They're fresh thinkers. Maybe they think about things differently, right? Maybe they're thinking about things more about like the future and how things are going compared to what's been working on television. So we'll see. There's lots of different ways it can go, you know? Also, again, I'm just the goofy dude who loves Big Brother talking on the internet. What do I know? All right, let's see. Let's try and catch up on some chat here. I think Tucker will get a AFP. Made you the other BB comic idea? Oh, did you? Hold on, let's check this out. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. This is also really good. And you even got the BB comic logo in there. Hold on, let me share this. This is so good. This is so good. Did you guys see that? Look at that. Ori the Streaming Eagle. He's even got the BB Comics logo up there in the corner. How awesome is that? Andy, this is amazing. I love it. Yo, with the microphone, the eagle's wings. Yo, that's great. I mean, you made me look really good there, too. You made me look pretty good there. That is awesome. Watch you every day. Thank you, Melissa. I appreciate that. Voting Angela for sure. Wonder how Matt will feel when seeing Angela on finale. True. Or he says we're going to wrap up exactly an hour. Expect an hour. Oh, we're going to get to the end of this. We're going to wrap up here. Why are they so cheap when they make a lot of money off this show? I'm with you on that one, Fawn. They should, at this point, definitely raise the prize pot. It should be $1 million at least. Tucker's getting my vote. Angela's got my vote. Brent, she manipulated. God doesn't condone such behavior. Hey, it's BB. Hey, all's fair in love and BB. Where were we? Tucker was great, but Angela was iconic. Both were entertaining in their own right. They both were great. And had us entertained and did something every week, every day, every week. I don't know what you mean by that, Fawn, but okay. If Rubina was to make it to finale, she will get the votes to win from the jury, although I know unlikely to make final two. I think there's a chance. I think there's a chance for all of them except for maybe Cam, if we're being honest. Even Cam maybe with Rubina, but it is a sad loss of BB Cam. I'll watch Deal or No Deal Island with Parvati on it. I wasn't a huge fan of the first season. I really liked Kim Matina because I've talked to Kim Matina before. We played some games together before. I've done some interacting with Kim. She's awesome, and I was cheering her on. But other than that, I don't know. It wasn't my thing. I feel like there was a disconnect. Like I felt like the way they were playing the Deal or No Deal, like it didn't like to me. I thought like they were playing it completely wrong. And I don't know if I'm just dumb. Like that was one of those moments where it's like I don't know if I'm just dumb or if I'm just not seeing the way it's supposed to be played or not. Because to me, this isn't making sense. I feel like you should do it this, but not that. But yeah, I might give it another chance. Everyone is saying Cam shouldn't win because Silent does nothing floater, but listen to the game. Maybe that's the new way to win this. Chris, I was saying that earlier, right? Playing for second, it's kind of a strategy. You got to get to the final two chairs if you want to win. And if you're playing for second, you're kind of locking yourself in, at least getting into those two chairs. And then, hey, anything can happen. Yes, Parvati's going to be on Survivor Australia as well. I'm very excited for that. Survivor Australia versus the world. The rumored list is crazy, and the official list that they already have is just as insane. We'll probably be checking that out on Kick. So make sure you're following over on Kick, especially when that ends up coming out, which should be a couple of months. Let's see. Chemo has my vote. Throwing Angela a bone for America's favorite player. Angela for America's favorite player. I don't want Chelsea to win either. He could have Angela. Made sure we didn't find out. I want Chelsea to win because she had done the most throughout the game. It feels like rewarding good gameplay. And I kind of agree, right? I think Chelsea's far and away the best player of the season. So was this the last HoH competition? So there's going to be a veto today, and then there's going to be 3 parts to an HoH. The final HoH will have technically 3 different competitions. All 3 play in the first one. Whoever wins that goes automatically to part 3. Then you'll have part 2, which will be the losers of part 1. Whoever wins part 2 plays the winner of part 1, and that will be the final HoH. Someone said Chelsea did not deserve to win. Who's that? I think she does. I'm for Tucker to get AFP as well as hoping he and Rabina connect again. Something about Chelsea tells me she doesn't treat people good outside the house. I don't know. I don't get that from Chelsea. Chelsea's not likable. I like Chelsea. And I said, why not? She played the puppeteer very well. This is the I agree, right? I think she did play the game completely right, manipulating the right people when she needed to, getting them to believe that she was on her side. It's all part of good BB. Stin, ooh, that's a hot take. Better than Dan. Exactly, that's how the game is played. I agree. Got to put your personal morals aside. This is a game, and Chelsea killed it this season. I 100% agree, right? It's why, like, I was so frustrated when I would hear things from people like T-Core about people over profits. It's like, nah, not in Big Brother. It's profit over people, right? Because these people in the game, yeah, sure, they might be nice people. You know who's also a nice people? My family, right? I'm a nice person. I'm the people. I'm the people over the profit. The profit comes before any other people, but me and my people. My people are what matters. So yeah, if I got to throw morals away, my people will know that I'm doing it for the right reasons. That's who matters. Let's see where we at. I agree. Quinn agreed too. I do too. That's just your opinion, Ote. I just hope she doesn't win. Chelsea said from the beginning, she's half holy, half hood. I love that. God's moral is everyday progress. Sure, but baby, not in the BB house. You can bounce some checkers in the BB house. We're your people are 100% savior. I just can't root for nasty people. I didn't like Paul either. So one of the things with Paul is I think he didn't own it, right? If Paul would have owned it at the end and been like, listen, I'm sorry I had to do that, right? Like if he's like, it's part of the game. I wish I didn't have to do that to get to where I was, but I had to do that to get to where I was. I think that would have made Paul different, right? Because that's the difference. Doing it for the game and afterwards acknowledging like, hey, I crossed some lines, but I did what I had to do. Compared to a person who's just like, nah, I just did it. You know, I think there's a difference there, right? And I can get on board with that, right? But yeah, I feel like in BB, you do what you got to do to win, whatever it takes, you know, any means necessary. I'm okay with a little bit of light cheating, right? Like you don't get caught. You ain't cheating, you ain't trying, kind of stuff, right? Like figure out the edge. In the least shocking turn of events, Rubina and Cam lose another comp. That's true. If Survivor had live feeds, I'm sure you wouldn't feel good about many of the people you root for. Parvati, for example, was known to not be a good person on the island, but the edit didn't show that. And so that's right. Another thing about Survivor too, right? They get to justify in the edit. That's kind of what I was talking about with the jury segment, right? They have all these little interviews and conversations they're having with the jury, but they get to select which conversations we see so they can make you think that the jury is all leaning one way. Like I said, we got a real vibe that they're all thinking that Chelsea's pretty good. At least that was my vibe and takeaway from it. But maybe that's just what they're trying to project. Maybe they all are super bitter at Chelsea, but they think she played a great game, but they don't want her to win, right? We won't really know until it happens. Everything will go bad if Rubina wins POV. Paul still hasn't admitted his game. Even to this day, it's crazy. Saw an interview with Paul recently. He came across strange now. I saw one clip from it, and he kind of actually repeated the same sentiment I did, right? Where it's like, you're there to play the game, right? Like, forget about other people. Like, win, right? Like, you're not there to win. Why are you there? Right? I don't want anybody who's just there to be there, right? There to make friends. No, I want people who are there to play the game. There who want it. There who want that championship. Who want that crown. Who want that check. Those are the people I want to watch play. Let's see, where were we? So I just got here. What the hell are these noms? Xander, they don't matter much anyway, though. It's all about the veto. Really kind of Chelsea's just... in a way, doing a little bit of jury management with Rubina, but it's all about the veto. I'm rooting for Rubina. I always want an underdog to win, and she's been on the block so much. She'd be probably the most interesting person to maybe win the veto. We talked about a couple other interesting scenarios in there, but it'd be interesting. I'm down for that. I know they don't really matter, but still, it is weird to see, right? Did they say on the feeds last night that veto was today? They didn't confirm it, but since they did noms so early and rushed them in last night, I'm assuming veto is going to be today because they do also need to get it all edited and ready for Sunday's episode. So I would think they want to get that as done quickly as possible. So this week only takes one vote to exit. That is it, Chris. Whoever wins veto, they get to choose who has that vote. If it's not Chelsea, she gets to choose who she would want. But whoever wins veto, whoever that ends up being, they are safe and they get to choose between the other two people. I enjoyed Paul's interview with Sharon. I haven't watched the whole thing. I should check it out. It was long and a bit rambling, but he is a super interesting person. I love he cares about historic preservation. That's a big thing because he's Armenian, right? And I know they are really big with the Armenian genocide that took place and making sure like all of that stuff is known about. And they do a lot of activism about promoting that even happened because there's so many people that deny that it happened. And that I know a lot about through one of my favorite bands was System of a Down, and they do a lot of that kind of stuff with it as well. Josh the Meatball, best winner of all time. So glad Paul couldn't give a good speech to save his life. Does third place get any money? I think they get a little bit of a bonus, but it's not the same as the second place. No. The Sunday episode is just going to be Cam failing at another comp. Xander, you probably are right. And actually, Xander, it could, depending on how this veto goes, could be 2 comps. Could be 2. Or do you use beard oil? It looks so healthy. I actually do use beard oil. I don't even know if it's any good. I had gotten this like a gift thing. It was like a brush. It was oil. It had shampoo, conditioner. It was all this brand called Viking Revolution or whatever. And I've stuck with the oil just because I liked the way they smelled. I was like, oh, this is kind of nice. Made my beard feel good. So I do use some beard oil. Got to keep it hydrated. I think there's still a chance MJ wins veto and evicts Cam and wins final HoH. She will take Rubina. That's a possibility. You can tell. I'm glad. Cam looks so over being in the house, especially with all the girls. I think he's feeling the pressure. I think he's worried. Do you think Tucker and Rubina will connect/date after? Maybe. He seems like he's head over heels from her from what I've seen. I haven't been paying too much attention. But I think they got a chance. It's tough, though, once you get into the real world. Anything can happen. They live really far apart, too. So we'll see how it goes. I thought Paul was rude to Sharon during the interview. He was doing something else the whole show. Like, he could barely be bothered. Cam came for summer camp. Tucker and Rubina are my favorite BB couple. America and Corey were fun. But them flirting was a little, what is that, a little geeky? If Mackenzie takes Rubina in the final 2, that's a mistake. I don't know. Is it? I don't know if it is. I don't think there was didn't think there was another HoH. So technically there is one more. It's the final HoH of the season. It's the 3 parts. Whoever ends up winning 2 of those 3 parts ends up being the final HoH. And then they get to choose who sits next to them. But yeah, I think we caught up. Guys, I think we did it. It almost went like another half hour. We almost went another half hour. But I just want to thank you guys all so much for joining me. on this lovely Friday morning. I always have a lot of fun jumping in the chat with you guys. And I also do like, there were some disagreements there. I love when we disagree because those are always when the good conversations happen. If we do disagree on everything, like that always ends up being more fun to me. I love having those conversations, and hopefully you guys do as well. We will be back tomorrow with any updates if there is a winner for the veto. We'll go over all of that on tomorrow's update. Sunday we'll have the episode with HoH and noms and veto. We'll talk about that plus everything that happens on the live feeds as well. Not sure if the live feeds are going to be shutting down at some point this week. When they do, we'll probably have our last update at some point. And then I think what I'm going to do too as well is like kind of a little bit of a longer stream where maybe we go week by week through the season all the way up to finale. So look forward for that as well. Thank you guys all again so much for watching. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, if you made it all the way to the end of this stream, smash that like button, hit that notification bell, hit that all the links in the description. Check out the socials, whether it's Twitch, Kick, Twitter, Discord. Check all those out. And I will see you next time.
Let this go.